Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, y'all. And welcome to Faith, Purpose, Profit, what I like to call FPP Live, a time we come together every Monday at 7 p.m. EST, and we connect all things faith, purpose, and profit. I'm excited to be here with you. So as you come in, tell me a name and where you're joining from. And for those of you that are joining me for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Nicole Roberts Jones. It's so funny for me to say doctor. And I am known as the Bankroll Your Brains expert and affectionately known as the purpose producer. And the one thing I'm called to do in this world is help you understand the one thing God has created you to be in this world and all the ways you're meant to profit from it. And so our time together where we join here on Monday is I really hope to show you how to connect your faith with it, which is the missing ingredient, which is why I'm excited about this conversation that I'm having with you tonight. So before I start going in, hey, Alzada, hope I'm saying that right, because I know you told me last week, but I'm hooked on phonics, and Raleigh and Sydney from Columbus, Ohio. Hey, hey. So by the way, if this is your first time, please tell me that too. Hey, my Yolanda, one of my phenomenal clients who now is one of my phenomenal team members here at NRJ Enterprises. I'm always excited to see you. I said it right. Yay. So listen, tonight is actually a part of a bigger conversation. This is the pre-show for something I'm starting tonight called the Rich in Your Niche Summit. So our conversation for tonight is let's get you rich in your niche. But I'm starting something tonight at 8 p.m. EST, those of you that are here with me live. It's called the Rich in Your Niche Summit. I'm going to put it up here. So if you haven't registered, I want to make sure you register, richinyournichesummit.com. Hey, Katrina, haven't seen your name up here in a while. So let me tell you why I'm doing the Rich in Your Niche Summit. And then I'm going to set some great context to the summit. But guess what? I'm not going to share any of what we're sharing in the summit. So I've brought together 18 power players. And really, I started something 6 years ago called the Slay Summit. And the Slay Summit stands for Sales, Legacy, Authenticity, and You. And I started the Slay Summit 6 years ago because I saw so many, well, it used to be women entrepreneurs, but God shifted that last year and really told me to start making things inclusive to men. So men, you're included. And I started the Slay Summit because I saw so many entrepreneurs not really understanding how to sell. Because listen, if you don't understand how to invite people in to work with you, which to me, sales is really serving. Sales is a transfer of enthusiasm. And in last year, in the middle of COVID, God started dealing with me on sales and really started really shifting that conversation to a rich conversation. And I'm going to tell you, I was having a hard time with it. So if you've been following me for a while, not only has God been dealing with this and I've been sharing it in social media, but that's where faith, purpose, and profit started happening last year. And so I started January of this year shifting even my conversation and adding faith, purpose, and profit together. And let me tell you something, the comments I've been getting in social media, how can you say God and profit in the same sentence? First of all, I need you to understand profit means gain. And again, if you've been following me for a while, I've been talking about this all this year, y'all. And so as I've been digging deeper and deeper into this conversation is why I shifted the Slay Summit to Rich in Your Niche Summit. Because if you are having a hard time with that, no wonder why your business isn't making money. And no wonder why you're not having income with impact. Because ultimately, you will not be able to gain for God. So before I start giving you great groundwork to the conversation we're having all week long in the Rich in Your Niche Summit, I want to make sure I invite you to join me. If you haven't already joined us for the Rich in Your Niche Summit, I'm going to stop here, invite you to join us, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to give you 3 steps because I want to make sure you are rich in your niche. Oh, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why and give you some great insight to the conversation we're having all week long. So let me stop because I'll start going in and invite you to join us and then I'll be back. All right. So here we go. God has given each of us free will. And so what that means when it comes to the work you do in this world is you have the power to choose to do anything you want to do. But if you desire work that gives your life meaning and fulfillment, then can I tell you the one thing I've seen so many successful women overlook? Now, in the over 25 plus years that I've been in this work, you overlook, or should I say, dare I say, you lack deep understanding of your DNA. Now, when I say DNA, I mean your distinct natural ability, which is the exact way God created you, and with this understanding, choosing work that puts you in a lane that is all your own. With all of that in mind, let me ask you, are you ready to start or grow your business? To get in alignment with your God-given assignment, to learn all the ways it's meant to bring profit to you and ultimately to God and for God? Then join me for the Rich in Your Niche Summit by going to richinyournichesummit.com. And then starting on August 1st, join me for our free 5-day Purpose Plus Profit online summit with 18 powerful entrepreneurs plus me who are ready to pour into you about what it took for them to go after becoming the highest and best version of who God created them to be, who are all coming together to give you insight, to share with you all the action steps it took for them to show up powerfully and share with you the insider secrets to how they move their purpose into a revenue generating business so that you can go after starting or growing your own. Join us and learn more by going to richinyournichesummit.com. So you have no idea. I'm going to try my hardest not to share what each of our 18 plus me are going to share with you during the summit. And the reason I wanted to have the summit is because those of you that come here every Monday, you know I pour so much into you. But I wanted to also show you other examples of people that were willing to do it afraid, who were willing to leave powerful jobs on Wall Street, who were willing to pivot from lucrative careers to go after what God was calling them to do, and how that led them to continue to build other lucrative careers, and how that powerful pivot led to profit they couldn't even imagine, and how that profit allowed them to gain for God. And so, as you begin to see what's possible when you risk it all to gain it all, when you begin to do it afraid, because see, God is never coming for who you already are. Never. He's looking for what will you do with what you have. And so, all along the way in the summit, I'm going to start tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Again, if you haven't registered, make sure you do. When I start the summit with you tonight at 8 p.m. EST, because today's August 1st, can y'all believe that we're in August? We're in the 8th month of this year. Can you believe that? I'm blown away that this year is almost over. Anyway, when we start our conversation tonight, I'm going to give you some groundwork. I'm going to give you a different character in the Bible that's going to set our journey. So as this is the pre-party, I decided I'm going to give you a different example. And let me tell you, the reason I'm giving you these examples from the Bible is what most of us don't realize. This is me included. I often believe that God takes me through these examples to teach me the lesson, because I, like you, often feel like, God, how can I talk about rich and you in the same sentence? I feel it too, y'all. And then God teaches me the lesson, and then I realize, oh, he teaches me the lesson so then I can teach it, because I was a doubtful person too, right? And I'll tell you about that in the episode 2 in the summit. But listen, what's interesting to me is, do you realize that the Bible gives examples of wealthy person after wealthy person after wealthy person that God uses? So tonight I want to talk to you about the Shunammite woman. So you will see her example. I'm looking down because I'm getting ready to read the Bible verses. The red are the Bible verses. You see how many notes I have? I don't have a lot of notes. Most of this is Bible verses here. Okay. So I'm going to read you Bible verses. I do this because my Bible, I have a fan on. Those of you that don't know, I'm in menopause. So I have a fan on. So if I had the Bible open here, it would be blowing everywhere. I would lose my Bible verses. In full disclosure, so I write my Bible verses down so my Bible doesn't fan everywhere and then I lose where my Bible verse was. Not that you needed to know all that, but that's why I write my Bible verses down on my paper. So I have them. You see how that blue? My fan is going. But anyway, okay. So the Shunammite woman is in 2 Kings chapter 4, 8 through 10 is what I'm going to read. I'm going to read a couple places, okay? So here's where her story starts. It says this, and this is New King James Version. Now it happened one day that Elisha went to Shunem. My husband is so loud. Do y'all hear that? And he knows I'm recording this episode. He's so loud. Now, it happened one day that Elisha went to Shunem, where there was a notable woman, and she persuaded him to eat some food. Now, I want you to get this. So he would go to Shunem all the time, and she would make him stop and say, "Look, y'all, you need to eat." She would make him stop and make him eat. Okay. So it was as often as he passed by, he would turn in there to eat some food. And she said to her husband, "Look now, I know that this is a holy man of God who passes by us regularly. Please, let's make a small upper room on the wall and let us put a bed for him there and a table and a chair and a lampstand. So it will be whenever he comes to us, he can turn in there." So in other words, she said, let's build him a room in our house that he can sleep here. So wait a minute, stop, y'all. This woman was wealthy enough to say, let's build him a room in our house. Have y'all really think about what that means? Let's hire some construction workers and build a room in our house for him. Not let's put a bed in one of our spare rooms. No, let's build him a room in our house. That's how wealthy this woman was. So I want you to get this. She was wealthy enough to say, stop by here, I'm going to feed you. So, number one, I'm sure she wasn't the only house on the street. So she realized he had a need and she was willing to fill it. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you realize that God makes you an answer. It's no coincidence you were born at this time, y'all. I say this enough that those of you that are around me, you can probably say what I'm getting ready to say, that you were born to be the answer. There was no coincidence that Elisha, walked down this same street. Now, mind you, she was not probably the only street he could walk down to get to where he was going. There was probably more than one street in that neighborhood he could walk down. And yet he kept walking down that same street. Probably because he knew she was going to feed him. Because by he went down there once, twice, he was like, I know that the Shunammite woman down the street is going to feed me. But the point is, she didn't have to do that. There were other people on that street that didn't feed him. And then she took it a step further and said, you know what? He keeps coming over here. Let's make him a room so he can actually sleep here too, because he's got to be tired. So I need you to understand that she went out of her way to be the answer. And how many times have I said to you, it's not going to be convenient, it's not going to be easy, but God sees you doing what you do when it's not convenient, when you're not settling for comfort, when you go out of your way to go outside of your comfort zone to start your business. Especially when you have that corner office. See, for me, when I worked in the entertainment industry and I could have stayed there and it was comfortable. It was comfortable. I had my name on every single list. I was working on the biggest Hollywood shows. Look, celebrities knew my name. I had my name on lists. Matter of fact, one of the shows I worked on is in repeats, and I guarantee that most of you guys are watching that show, and my name is in the credits. I could the director and producer of that show, one of them is in my DMs. Not trying to talk to me, not in that way. He's a good friend. I could call him today and get a job. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm telling you that I walked away from all of that because God was calling me to do this at a time that I didn't even know what it was called. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm telling you it was not easy. But I knew God was calling me to do this thing that I didn't even know what to call it. But I knew that this was God. As crazy as all my friends thought I was. Shoot, I thought I was crazy. Because they were like, what are you going to do? This. I didn't know what to call it. But 28 years later, I see now the beginnings of what God was showing me. And I'm sharing that with you because sometimes some of you haven't started this thing that God keeps rumbling in your spirit because you can't explain it, because perception is telling you don't do it, because judgment is telling you don't do it, because your bank account is telling you don't do it. God's not checking any of those things. He's checking your faith. So the first thing I want you to get is she was wealthy. She used her wealth for good. She used her status. She used all those things. When I think about when I started doing this work that I do now, a lot of things I was able to do, I used my relationships that I had then to start. I remember a lot of I worked in entertainment. I told y'all that. So one of the things I worked on was a Def Comedy Jam. A lot of those comedians helped me when I first started. All the resources that I got from my girls was because I worked on some of those shows and go on and on, right? She used her resources for Elisha's travels, okay? So she had a specialized way to help him that will be called a niche. Many of you don't realize that you have a specialized way to do what you do. So what's interesting to me is back then, my gift was casting and producing. What do I do now? Casting and producing. My gift is still the same. God just shifted my arena. The thing that I was so good at, so funny. One of my good friends, we called each other cousins back in the day. She still works in. She is a director, films, and she's in the. I really need your casting expertise on this film, and we were laughing. And I said, sure. You know, she ran some stuff past me, and she said, you know what's so funny? I bet you're still casting now. I said, I am. I'm casting around purpose, and we fell out laughing. And she said, I can see how you do that. But I am. You know why? Because I can see the role your purpose should be in your business. I can see all the ways you can make money around it, which is the same thing you do when you get a script. You get that, you guys? And so it's a specialized niche, the same way that your gift has a specialized niche. And I can see that. So why am I sharing that with you? Because as you hear the power players in the summit, the thing that I get excited about in the master classes is that I've had the privilege to work with the and let me just out myself that I ask my clients to teach the master classes. Why? Because I've had the privilege to see them shift their gifts from not being clear to what happened when they got clear. And I did that on purpose, and I asked them to show what it looked like when they got clear because I wanted you to see living, breathing examples of what clarity does. Because when you go from being a health coach to someone that helps people get their sexy back, oh, that's a big difference. So I'm excited about what each of our masterclass presenters are going to show you, what a difference makes the clarity of when that woman said, listen, let's just not feed him. Let's give him somewhere to sleep because he needs more than just a meal. He needs somewhere to sleep. And she knew that she was able to do that because, listen, when you make more money, you can serve more people. So because this woman was wealthy, she was able to serve Elisha even more. Do y'all get that? I ain't going on a whole tangent with that. So then the next verse, and I skipped around. So that was 2 Kings 4:8-10. Okay, y'all with me? So I skipped around. You can read the in between. Then 2 Kings 4:12-13 says, then he said to Gehazi, so this is Elisha talking to Gehazi, because what he did was he sent Gehazi, his servant, to go back to talk to the Shunammite woman, right? Call the Shunammite woman. When he had called her, she stood before him, talking about Gehazi, and he said to him, say now to her, look, you've been concerned for us with all this. What can I do for you? In other words, Elisha said, what can I do for you? You've done so much for us. What can I do for you? See, that's what God says back to you. See, when you do so much for him, God wants to give back to you. The thing that people don't realize is this, and I really want you to get this in your soul and your spirit, y'all. I was reading, and mind you, I'm probably reading 3 books right now. I'm always reading more than one book. I read one book in the morning, one book in the afternoon, one book when I go to bed. I don't know why I'm like that. I'm always reading 3 books. So I can't tell you which one of the books I got this from, okay? So somebody's going to ask me, I'm going to tell you now, I don't know. So I was reading this book and it was a book about spiritual principles about being rich because I'm studying this whole rich stuff right now. And it said this. It said, kings and queens have a lifestyle that they maintain. If God is our ultimate heavenly father, who's more heavenly and more royal than any king or earthly king or queen, then there's a lifestyle that he wants his children to maintain. That's that abundantly above all. So if our earthly father would gift his child for doing a job well done, and a earthly royal father would give a gift times 10 for a job well done, then what do you think your heavenly father would give you for a job well done? Have you really thought about that? So when she says back to him, pretty much, if you go read, continue to read her story, and it was so long, y'all, that I didn't want to read the whole thing because it would take up my whole 30 minutes with you. But go read it. It goes on from chapter 4 all the way through chapter 8 in Second Kings. When she goes on and she says nothing, he says, you know, her husband is old and she can't have a child and she doesn't have one. I'm going to bless her with a child. He gives her something that she would never even ask for. What's that Bible verse, Ephesians 3:20? Abundantly above all you would ever ask or think. Now, there's a whole nother layer to that story. I'll come back next week. We'll peel it back more. But I really want you to get this first layer, y'all. Don't go past this first layer. Is one, she was wealthy, so much so that she gave her wealth back to God. That's called gain for God. How could I bless somebody with what I have? Oh, I'm gonna peel back because I'm gonna use two. I'm gonna use, listen, every episode I'm breaking this down. I'm using a whole nother example of another wealthy person in the Bible. And the reason I'm doing that, I need you to understand, it's not selfish ambition. God's not gonna bless selfish, ambition. He's gonna bless when you multiply and give it back. Because ultimately, it's not about you. It's not about acquiring material possessions. It's about how are you having income that's having impact for other people besides you. I'm gonna say you can't bless yourself every now and then, and get you a little something that might. By the way, I get more compliments on this $5 ring, right? But I'm gonna say you can't do something that blesses you because I love a great ring. But this one was $5, but I love a great ring. I'm not saying you can't do that, but it shouldn't be about that. Do you understand the difference? So when you get specialized and you get rich in it, it blesses all of the people assigned to you that need you, that are praying for that gift inside of you. That's how you have impact in the kingdom. And this kingdom is the world. That's all God is expecting of you. And that's the exact reason I created Rich in Your Niche. So it takes the whole conversation of slay to a whole new level. And that's why I'm inviting you into the Slay Summit. That's why Slay Summit, Rich in Your Niche Summit. That's why I wanted to up level the conversation from the Slay Summit, because here's the ultimate thing you got to know is everything you do is like a boomerang. What you put out in the world comes back to you. There's a Bible verse, Philippians 1:6, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in me will complete it. See, God has begun a good work inside of you, but he's also giving you free will. Oh, he wants to complete it. He's giving you all that's inside of you so he can complete it, but he's not going to make you do it. That's the difference. You've got to water the seed and fertilize the seed and do the work to activate the seed. And once he does that, he'll do everything. He'll meet you there. He'll meet you there. But will you do the work to activate it? And when you don't know what to do to activate it, that's when you get into a community like the Rich in Your Niche Summit. So you can see how 18 other people did it. Or you get with a coach like me that will give you the tools that'll help you move it forward. Or I'm going to give you good tools. By the way, you get a workbook. Or I'm giving you some activation each episode. So in each episode, you're going to hear me talk about the be, do, have formula. Right. Or I'm going to talk about ordering your steps too. I was like, girl, y'all just don't even know. One of the things I teach my clients is the be, do, have formula, because, we call ourselves human beings, but we're not. We're human doings because we focus on do. You got to add some being in it. And if you don't add the being in it, you'll never get to do the thing that your heart desires. You need the being and the doing to have it all. And so I'm inviting you into this conversation. I'm inviting you into the sacred space for the week. And then every morning the day after, so all week long, every morning the day after, we're having a recap. So every morning, so that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yep, so all 5 nights, 8 p.m. EST. We have 2 masterclasses and 2 fireside chats. So about 75 minutes, I'll say, every night. Sometimes 60, sometimes 75, because some of our master classes go over a little bit. So about an hour 15 minutes every night. And then the next morning, take notes. Listen, all my notes are here. I spent Thursday, Friday, and Saturday pre-recording all this for you, right? So all my notes are already here, pages and pages of notes. Okay. I can't wait to start sharing with you guys tomorrow morning. The only reason I pre-record is because I have coaching calls with my clients tonight and tomorrow night. So I want to make sure you join us both tonight, and then the recaps are live. So I will be live with you on Clubhouse. If you're not on Clubhouse, then if you go to fppbreakfast.com, it's also an invitation to join Clubhouse. You don't have to have an iPhone to join Clubhouse anymore. If you go to fppbreakfast.com, you'll join Clubhouse. That's also an invitation for you to join Clubhouse, okay? So I look forward to hearing your takeaways. I look forward to hearing your voice. And I'm not going to be teaching tomorrow morning. I'll be listening to your takeaways. Some of our experts will join us, some of my Purpose Squad. Those of you that don't know who the Purpose Squad is, we have a group of ladies that are 10 steps ahead of you, that we pray for all of our clients once a month. We come together and hold the space. And some of our Purpose Squad are experts in the Rich in Your Niche Summit. So they'll be joining us tomorrow morning as well, right? So I want to invite you. If you haven't registered yet, it's not too late to register. Rich in Your Niche Summit.com is where you register, and our interviews go live tonight. And then you'll have until Sunday, 3 p.m. EST, to watch any of them. If for some reason you can't join tonight at 8, you'll have until Sunday to watch the replay. Okay? So that's it for now. Again, listen, prepare to be amazed at the insight, the insider secrets, the conversations that so many people usually don't have. And even I'm going behind the scenes to tell you the things that many people aren't willing to tell you. Listen, tonight I'm telling my story of when I absolutely failed in my business. Why? Because if people don't tell you why they failed, then how will you ever know what's possible and how you can shift from broke to bankable? Because, baby, I was broke. So I look forward to hearing your takeaways, hearing your insight. I look forward to seeing how you will grow and gain for God. I look forward to seeing all the ways that you use your gift for good and how you will grow your niche, your purpose into a profitable business. I look forward to seeing how you will get the insight you need to move your purpose forward. All right. And I look forward to seeing you and hearing your takeaways on our Clubhouse episodes the morning after. All right. So until I get to hear you and see you and also read your takeaways in our Facebook group as well. And I forgot to put that on a slide here. So our Facebook group is thebrilliancetribe.com. So until I get to see your takeaways and hear your insight, buckle your seatbelt and get ready, because this week is created and curated to pour everything you need into you so that you can move your purpose, your niche, into being all that God needs and the way He created and crafted you to be rich for the kingdom right now. All right. So with that said, I look forward to seeing your insight, hearing your insight, and seeing how you move your rich forward. All right. Thank you for joining us. Bye, y'all.